What we're going to do right now is we're going to talk about character styles. And that's a little different. So let's say, for example, I want to take, I want this phone number right here, the 281-555-1234. I want that to be the magenta color like the address. Well, as you can see, I can highlight this. I highlight that. But if I use the paragraph style, which would be the address, you're going to notice what it's going to do is going to change the entire paragraph. And that's not what I'm trying to do. What I want to do is I just want to change the number. I want to keep the actual words, phone number, the same as they are. I just want the 281-555-1234. I want that to be the magenta color. So that's not a paragraph style. That's going to be a character style. So let's go to character style. The first thing you want to do is I have it selected, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to make that the magenta color. All right. So now that I've done that, all right, I'm going to come over here to the character style. I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to select that and make that character style. I'll give it a name. I'll call it phone number. All right. Actually, I'll call it numbers. Yeah, just numbers. All right. So we have numbers. So that means that anytime within any paragraph, if I just select the word or the characters, it'll just change that to the character style. For example, I can double click on number and I can say numbers. I can double click on phone and I can say numbers. I can just double click on ER. All right. I highlight that and I can say numbers. And as you can see, that will just take care of the characters within a paragraph. So that's the difference between character styles and paragraph styles. Paragraph styles will impact the entire paragraph, but the character style, like I can click anywhere in this body of text and I could just say numbers and it will just change that particular word or character to the character style that I assigned. Okay, in this video we're going to create what is called a nested style. And basically what a nested style is, it's a style within a style. Actually, it's a character style within a paragraph style. For example, if you see we have these three columns of names and addresses. Ideally what I want to do is I want to make the actual addresses, I want to make them italic. And I don't want to go through this entire list to make them italic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a character style and then I'm going to nest that into a paragraph style. So the first thing I'm going to do is double click on one of the words, all right, and I'm going to make that italic. So now I'm going to, as I have it still selected, I'm going to go over to my character style and I'm going to click here and I'm going to make it a character style and I'm going to call this one simply italic. Okay, so I have my character style. Now I'm going to click off so nothing is connected, is selected, because to make this change I don't have to select anything. I'm going to let InDesign do it automatically. Okay, next up I'm going to take a look at my paragraph style and you're going to see everything here is basically the basic paragraph style, which is Minion Pro regular. That's the paragraph style. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, nothing is selected, I'm going to double click on the basic paragraph. I'm going to drop down to it says, before I do that, let me show you something. Before I do that, let me show you something. If you notice, I'm going to zoom in and you can see this. All right. You're going to notice that there are, after the names, they have what I call soft returns, which is also known as, which InDesign calls a forced line break. All right. So basically, this is all one paragraph. These three lines are one paragraph with a forced return after the name and then a forced return after the street. Okay, so let's go back to double clicking on basic paragraph style. We're going to drop down to where it says drop caps and nested styles. And it's at this point that we're going to start making some, we're going to add our nested style. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say new nested style. We click here and we're going to say that we want none. In other words, no change, no style that's going to go through. We click here and we're going to say through to the forced line break. In other words, there'll be no change from the name, from the start of Bob to Jones, no change at all to that forced line break. Then we're going to add a new nested style. And we're going to say, give us the italic style all the way through to where we're going to say the uh, end of nested style character. All right, end of nested style character. And then once we do that, we'll say okay, and you'll notice that what it did was, and I'll zoom in so you can see this, what it did was it took the after the forced line break, everything beyond that point became a nested style, nested character style, going up to the return and then starting again. So basically, we just added a character, a style within a style, being a character style within the paragraph style. And then one more thing we're going to do is we're going to change that Bob Jones. We're going to change that to bold. So we're going to double click on basic paragraph style. All right, and then where it says, let's say we're going to say basic character format, we're going to say make that bold. All right, and if you notice, it's only going to change the very first part of the paragraph style. So when you zoom in, you'll see that it only changed the names because that's the first part, and then of course the character style is picked up in the address. So that's how you create a nested style. Okay, placing a frame inside of a cell, inside of a table cell, is really, really easy. Now you have to remember, everything that you do with a cell primarily takes place with the type tool. However, the first thing we want to do is we need to put the frame inside the cell. So that's going to require us working first with the selection tool. So we're going to take the selection tool, we're going to select this graphic frame, we're going to cut it. All right, so now we have it cut and it's in virtual paste heaven. Now using the type tool, we can select the cell with the type tool and then we can paste. And at that point now, you would need to manipulate the frame that's in this cell with the type tool, but now you have it anchored in this cell. So let's say, for example, if you look at it right now, it's not sitting flush against the cell wall, and that's because there's a cell inset value. So what you want to do is you want to select, you can select the entire, let's just select the cell. You can select the cell, all right? So I have the cell selected. And then what you can do is you can go up to table, you can go down to cell options, drag over to it says text, and you'll notice that there is a 4-point value with the cell inset. So if you change that value to 0, all right? So we have 0 at the top, and really what we wanted to do was change it all the way around. So now we're going to come back to cell options, text, and make sure this link is linked. And now you have the 0 left, right, top, bottom, and now you have the cell, the actual frame, sitting right on the cell wall, which is pretty much what you want to do. And if you wanted to change the orientation or the alignment of the graphic cell, I'm sorry, the graphic frame, you would select it like you would select text, and you could say, if you're on the Mac side, you could say Shift Command R, all right, that would be flush right, or Shift Command C, which would be centered, or of course Shift Command L, and if you're on the PC, that would be Control Shift. So that's pretty much how you put, or how you can anchor or place a graphic frame inside of a cell, a table cell in InDesign.